I was a flight attendant for 6 years. The woman who complained about my rude service didn't know I recognized her as my childhood bully. I was a flight attendant for 6 years. Last month, the woman who filed a formal complaint about my unprofessional attitude didn't realize I recognized her immediately. Perchie was the girl who bullied me so severely in 8th grade that my parents changed school districts. Flight attendants develop a certain smile, pert, professional, consistent, and just warm enough to satisfy most passengers. Mine slipped the moment I saw her boarding my Denver to Chicago flight, designer bag swinging as she checked her first-class seat assignment. Kayla Matthews, 15 years older but unmistakable. The girl who created a fake journal in my handwriting and read entries about classmates aloud at lunch, who organized a birthday party just to uninvite me publicly, whose actions left me with anxiety that followed me into adulthood. She didn't recognize me. Why would she to her? I was just another uniformed worker providing a service, not Ellie Peterson, the girl she systematically destroyed at age 13. I maintained professionalism throughout the boarding process, coordinated passengers, helped with overhead bins, emitted safety demonstrations. But when I reached her with a beverage cart, something shifted. Sparkling water, no ice, she said without looking up from her phone. No please, no acknowledgement. We only had still water and ice on this flight, I responded. It was true, our sparkling water had been depleted on the previous leg. She finally looked up. That's ridiculous. Every first-class cabin has sparkling water. I apologize for the inconvenience. Would you prefer still water or another beverage? The conversation escalated as she demanded to speak with my supervisor, complained about basic customer service expectations, and mentioned her social media following. Each criticism delivered in the same dismissive tone she used when telling 13-year-old me why no one would ever truly like me. I remained calm but wouldn't bend over backward. No special accommodations, no excessive apologies, just standard service delivered with standard courtesy. 3 days later, my supervisor called me into her office. Ian had filed a formal complaint claiming I had deliberately provided substandard service and singled her out for rude treatment. This doesn't sound like you, Ellie, my supervisor said, concerned. You've never had a complaint before. I considered telling her everything about the year of therapy after bullying, about the nightmares that still occasionally surfaced, about recognizing her immediately while she saw me as completely disposable. Instead, I simply said, sometimes passengers have unrealistic expectations. My supervisor reviewed the complaint, spoke with other crew members who confirmed my professionalism and ultimately dismissed it. That night, I looked up Ubersig on Instagram. Her profile had been easy to find since she'd mentioned being in a tri-dye during her complaint. Her feed was filled with carefully curated images of a seemingly perfect life, Centiarch outfits, cisopical vacations, inspirational quotes about kindness and authenticity. Her most recent post showed her on my flight, champagne glass raised, the champagne I had served her without complaint, with a caption about deserving luxury and accepting nothing less than respect. I almost commented. This shattered her carefully constructed image with the truth about who she really was. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, revenge within reach. Instead, I closed the app. Some people never change. But I had. The scared girl who once gets power over her happiness no longer existed. I had built a life filled with genuine connections, meaningful work, and hard-won confidence. 2 weeks later, I submitted my application to nursing school. Parrot, something I'd been postponing for years. Sometimes your past reappears not to haunt you, but to show you how far you've come. The best revenge isn't confrontation. It's realizing they no longer have the power to define your worth. Etri Claude can make mistakes.